Welcome to this video on action and content activities in Agent Studio. Action and content activities are the heart of Agent Studio plugins and conversational processes. Action activities handle the backend work like executing tasks on external systems like Jira or Salesforce. Content activities focus on what users see, ensuring interactions are clear and engaging. Together, they create a cohesive workflow where functionality meets usability, making automation powerful and user-friendly. Let's dive in. By the end of this lesson, you'll learn the roles of these activities, how to configure action activities to handle tasks, and how to configure content activities to present information. Action activities are the workhorse of Agent Studio. They're designed to execute specific tasks that drive automation, such as updating records in a database or triggering workflows. Their ability to integrate with external systems like ServiceNow, Jira, or even Salesforce makes them essential for connecting your plugins to business tools. Plus, their versatility allows you to tailor them to various automation needs, ensuring flexibility in your plugin design. They excel at task execution, which is critical for automation. They also enable system integrations, allowing your plugins to communicate with external platforms through APIs. Finally, their customization option lets you tailor actions to your specific needs, whether you're using HTTP calls or Moveworks built-in actions. Configuring action activities in Agent Studio is a pretty straightforward method. So let's move on to the Agent Studio app and show you how to do it. So I'm going to be in my activities demonstration process and show you how to configure this action activity. First, we're going to go into the add a block to your process and select action activity. And then first you'll see this action dropdown. Here I can select my HTTP actions, my scripts actions, and my built-in actions as well as my compound actions. And you can see here I have some HTTP actions, some script actions here, and then a compound action here as well. If I select one, such as, let's see, my script action, you'll see that there's a data mapping. This input mapper ensures that the right data is passed to the action. So in this case, this action seems to require some elements. I believe it's a list of numbers. So I can pass something like 1, 2, 3. And then in the next step, we have an output mapper. And the output mapper captures the results for later use in different activities or also to present it to the user. In this case, this response data identifier will hold the data of the HTTP action, so the response of the action. And if I want to dot walk to a specific field I want to show, or maybe a specific list from the API response, I can do that here. For example, dot list or ID, something like that, dot result. There's also a data mapper, same as the input mapper. So if I want to be a little more granular, I can use YAML syntax to just show few fields from the API response. Let's say if the API response had fields like ID, status, name, and other fields, but I just want to show the name field, I could do something like name and then response.name. Then after that, at the end, we have a output key. So this output key allows us to store the response of the output mapper and use it in different action activities that you may have down the line in your process. And finally, we have these confirmation policy checkbox that allows us to ensure user approval before execution, enhancing like control and safety. So for example, if you had an action that was passing multiple values that the user provided in the message, you would use this consent policy to have the AI assistant present a screen with all the fields that the user is about to pass. That's how you set up an action activity. Content activities shine in user communication, delivering messages, knowledge articles, or forms to keep users informed and engaged. They support 3 content types: text for simple communication, knowledge for sharing detailed information, and forms for collecting user inputs. Additionally, they enable dynamic content through mustache syntax, allowing you to personalize messages with a data bank store, making interaction more relevant and effective. Content activities are straightforward to set up just as action activities. So let's head to the Agent Studio app and let me show you how to do that. So in our process that we had earlier, we had this sum number list action activity that was some numbers, but now I want to present the user with some data about what I just did. So we have a content type, which is text, knowledge and form. At the time of this recording, knowledge and form content is not available, but it will be later in the future. But let's go with text. So I can write something like sum of your numbers is ready. And the result is, and here I can use the mustache syntax I was talking about. You may be very familiar with this mustache syntax because it uses double curly braces, which is something you use in your HTTP actions for import arguments. So here I can write the output key of my sum action activity from earlier. So I didn't write an action app output key. So let me write something like sum response, and then I'll go back to my content activity and just write sum response. And that's how you set your content activity. In summary, action activities handle the task work, while content activities ensure users have a great experience. Together, they enable powerful, user-friendly automation in Agent Studio. I encourage you to try building a plugin that leverages both types of activities. For more details, check out our activities documentation. Thank you for watching.